Stuff's choppy. Okay, I think we're live. I think we're set. I'm 1 minute late. God damn it. Don't give me a break, all right? Let's get rid of that. Um, okay, welcome to the show. Welcome back. This is What's News. I'm your host, Lawrence, I guess. And yeah, we're gonna go through August 31st today. It's been a big weekend for me, for everyone, for the whole country. There's a lot to go through. I'm gonna do my best to get through it and kind of unpack all the questions. I got the chat up next to me. Someone said it's unforgivable. I'm 1 minute late. Sorry. I think Nick Fuentes do like 2 hour late streams, so I think I'm alright. But yeah, we're set up. We're ready to go. I've got all the tabs ready to go through the story. So let me know if everything's looking good, everything's sounding good. Make sure to share the stream if you can. Like the stream. Liking it really helps. Make sure to subscribe. This is going to be one of my main platforms now because I've been kicked off X. I got banned off X this weekend. We'll go into that. I won't go into that just yet. But yeah, if you could subscribe and share the stream around, that'd be very much appreciated. So let's get into it. Let's get into the March for Australia, baby. So we had, that's not what I want. Excuse me. I'm a newbie. Okay, so we had the March for Australia. Sounds good, visuals good. Thank you. So yeah, March for Australia happened this weekend on the 31st, only a couple of days ago, and it was massive. It was huge. Every single capital city turned up for this event. Numbers were way bigger than we could have possibly expected, and some shit went down. Some shit was said, and it's a bit of a crazy story, a bit of a crazy thing. Oh, here's another thing I must warn you about because I'm an amateur. I'm a newbie. I'm a broke bitch. My camera might tune out every so 20 minutes. So get ready for that. That's probably the only technical issue we'll have. We'll see if we can work around it. But be prepared for that. So hopefully it doesn't mess up any of my rants. But yeah, the protest happened. It went down every single city. Melbourne went off with a lot of violence. It kind of got a bit hectic there and a bit controversial, more so than the other cities. Brisbane was pretty tame. Sydney was pretty hectic, I think. Not too hectic, I can't really remember. And then all the other states, all the other cities and towns were pretty peaceful and pretty relaxed. So yeah, I guess we'll just get into it, eh? We'll start looking at some of the things said. So here we got all the news coverage. So we'll take a look at some of this. Yeah, sure.
Anti-immigration rallies.
Oh, jeez. I think that might be a bit blown out, eh?
Are taking place in capital cities and regional centres across the country this afternoon. In Melbourne, anti-immigration protesters and a pro-Palestine rally have clashed in the CBD, with pepper spray being deployed and several demonstrators assaulted. Hundreds of police blocked the groups from meeting near Flinders Street station, but members from both groups marched down other streets away from the blockade. There were few police in the area at that time. Large crowds have gathered at Sydney's Belmore Park.
So yeah, that's the main thing that the media is taking away from this is the violence that happened in Melbourne, particularly on the streets there and at Camp Sovereignty, which is a Aboriginal camp right next to the War Memorial. But yeah, so right next to the War Memorial, and the NSN basically charged that camp and took their flags, and some women were hurt, and it's pretty concerning. But, you know, of course, the mainstream media isn't really exploring the whole story. It really isn't giving context to everything that happened, despite it being pretty ugly, like pretty ugly scenes. So let's start with this, shall we? I'm straight to the point with this kind of stuff.
Taking place.
So you had this violence happen in Melbourne, okay, where this is basically NSN members beating up Antifa, okay, or the leftists. And that's true. That's exactly what happened. And there was a stream that Hugo Ospil did just recently with Sarah Stock here, which is a really good video. You guys should watch it. Where he explains, I'm not going to play the whole thing for you, but he explains at some point that basically, Antifa knew the route that the march wanted to take, right? They knew what was organized and they blocked it. And he explains somewhere around here that he was in contact with police, trying to explain to police that, look, people are getting antsy, people want to march. We said we're marching for Parliament. That's the goal of the whole thing. And Antifa are blocking us, so can you use your police powers to get rid of them? And the police basically said, no, we can't do it. There's no luck. Just do your speech here and be done with it. And because of that, the NSN just basically took it into their own hands, went to the front of the march, bashed through Antifa, literally. And that's what led them to being sort of at the front of the march and being seen as the leaders of the march, as far as I can understand. So it's a bit, it's not just black and white. It's not just, oh, look, it was an NSN organized march. They came, they took it, like it was their whole thing. There's a lot of nuance that's being missed. So let's see if I can find this segment where Hugo says this.
For this video, we'll play it in a second, and you can let me know what was actually going on.
Yes, yeah, so this is actually it.
Yeah, so basically at that time in the protest, what was happening was we were all at like the gathering point, the starting point, like thousands of people. And what we wanted to do is, we're at a March for Australia, was march to the end location, which was what was called Parliament House in Victoria, in Melbourne. But we couldn't because the path there was blocked off by Antifa, by communists, by the left wing. And I was at that point on the phone with the superintendent of Victoria Police. His name was Grant. And I'm saying to him, like, we need to march somewhere. The people in our group here are getting agitated. They want to go somewhere. It's going to get out of control unless we can get to the designated route and endpoint, which is Parliament. And he's like, yeah, look, mate, we can't help you. You're blocked off by Antifa, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you just got to do your speeches and everything at at Flinders Street. And so I wasn't on the phone to him. I didn't know where the organizers were. I was looking for them in the crowd. And at that point, people around me were realizing they can go along like a river maybe to the Parliament. Like people were trying to find new ways to get there that might not be blocked off, but that was potentially unsafe because there could be Antifa like hiding along the route. And then all of a sudden, like you hear this great commotion that the road, which was previously blocked, everyone's now walking and marching up towards Parliament. And I had like no idea what happened. I just thought maybe the police came and cleared it because they realized it was getting under control. If the patriots were going to just disperse in random locations, maybe they just cleared that path so it was safer to have everyone going in one direction. And it wasn't until I got to the steps of Parliament and I saw those members of the National Socialist Network, the NSN, were standing there already, like at the very front of the march. And they were covered in what the police had used was capsicum spray. They were covered, some of them in blood, very bruised and battered, like clothing ripped. And I just thought like that, it was a very, very weird sight. And it wasn't until later someone informed me what had happened was the NSN had heard that the fact the march couldn't really go ahead because it was being blocked off by the NSN and took it upon themselves to walk straight up to this column of Antifa.
Right, you mean and just blocked off by Antifa, right?
Blocked up by Antifa.
Yeah.
And so the NSN apparently just walked straight up to that column and just like punched their way through it, which then allowed like the thousands and thousands of Australian patriots behind them to then march to Parliament. And so that's what you see in that footage there. You see members of the NSN facing off against Antifa and just tumbling through them, cracking a hole in their column, which then allowed the Australian patriots to get to that final point where speeches could be delivered at Parliament. And so on the day, it was very confusing. Like the police weren't helping.
So there it is, right? From Ozpill himself. I just realized, sorry, my camera is basically covering up half of his face. Sorry about that. Would been better just in YouTube. Thanks, DuckDuckGo. But yeah, so basically the NSN were the muscle for the group that the protests seemingly needed. The protests wouldn't have happened if the NSN weren't there, as far as I can tell. They would have been blocked. It would have been cucked. We would have seen Melbourne protest fails because Antifa, fought back, and it would have been a mess. So there are heaps of people saying, NSN shouldn't have been there. They should have stayed home. It's like, well, as things go, they wouldn't have marched without them there, okay? So whether you like it or not, they did play a role in that day. Whether you think that was the right role for them to play, or whether you think that was, the right way to go about it, I don't know. That's your opinion. But, they did make that march happen, basically. So there's that. The rest, like I said, though, the rest of the interview is really good. I'd recommend it. Ozpil also mentions all the grifters that have now completely changed their tune. They, started off saying, "Oh, don't go to this march at all." And now they've fully turned around, taking little snippets from wherever they can, making it out as if they're true blue patriots. where really they just love multiculturalism and love selling their merch. So that's basically that.
Anti-immigration rally.
What else we got here? I got a bunch of tabs. I need to make my way through them and just figure out what's going on. But yeah, that was one of the main commotions in Melbourne, and I guess we should just get into the other side of it, which is camp sovereignty. Straight off the bat. Well, actually, let's look at this because Nick Fuentes actually commented on this. If you don't know who Nick Fuentes is, he's like probably America's biggest right-wing commentator. Everyone knows he's right, surely. But this is what Nick Fuentes had to say about the NSN being there. He's having a go with them, He's had a go with them a couple of times. Whether I think it's somewhat fair in a sense. I don't know. He's a bit brutal, He's a bit kind of cheeky. I'd love to see him and Joel debate though. Like, why don't any of these guys just debate him? So we'll have a look at this, and then we'll go to the camp sovereignty, and I'll comment on this.
So I saw the Thomas Sewell speech, and I was like, wow, huge turnout. I said, wow, massive turnout, all Australian flags. I said, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. Then I find out it was like a big anti-immigration protest made by other people, and they hijacked it. They jumped in front of the crowd, and in some cities they got away with it. In some cities they got booed off the stage, and people said, get these Nazis out of here. And it's like, oh, okay. So it just goes to show, if they just took the Australian flag, these assholes are out there, and I don't say that to be, mean, but they look like assholes. They're in black uniforms, they're violent, they're thugs, they're screaming, they're using profanity, they're doing swastikas, Heil Hitlers, and they stick out like a sore thumb. And so you have like tens of thousands of fucking normal people with their faces out, just normal, regular people that love Australia with Australian flags. And then you got these goofballs in black uniforms with the rest. And the normal people are saying, get the fuck out. What is this? The Nazi LARP? Get the fuck out of here. So I think it's just delusional and insane. And the move that Joel Davis gave up on was to be an Australian nationalist. Co-opt them. Don't be, and if you're going to do this thing on the outside, do it in a different way. You have really two options. You can co-opt the fringe or the far right, and you could show up at these things with an Australian flag and give an edgier flavor of the rhetoric, right? If that's not possible, you can stand just to their right and have the same look and the same presentation and say, I'm the real nationalist, I'm the real nationalist, and hope that eventually, people demand that you be included. You get that credibility. You say, you attack them using their own standards and say, I'm the real Australian nationalist because I'm further right on immigration than you are. I'm more patriotic. I'm more of the real deal than you. And eventually, that's sort of what I'm doing in a sense. What you don't do is go and stand off on your own and wear something totally bizarre and weird and self-segregate and say, we're all going to wear all black because we hate everyone and we're all Nazis. We're all Nazis and fucking racists and fuck everyone. Like, we're going to beat you the fuck up. Like, and be the bad guy and say, like, yeah, we are the bad guy. Like, we're offending all the normal people. Good. We hate all of you. Like, what is even the point of that? Like they go there and most people don't like them. Like, all normal people look at them as odious and they're like, yeah, we showed them that everyone hates us the most. Like, and you just alienate yourself from the people you're trying to win over. Like, what's the goal? What's the end game? What's the pathway? So I think the Nazi LARP is the dumbest thing ever. Dumbest thing ever. Nationalism is the way forward. Nationalism as an idea, as a brand, because otherwise we're just forfeiting our country. The American flag is ours. That's our property. Okay, that's us. The Australian flag is theirs. That's theirs. The Irish flag is theirs. It belongs to nationalists. And what does it mean to be a nationalist? Well, that's up for interpretation, and that's where the battle can occur. We have the strongest case, I think, actually. So to sort of take yourself out of the game and say, oh yeah, that's not good enough for us. We need to be like 1930s National Socialist Workers Party. Like, what?
Right. So, okay. So that's basically it, right? So, he's got some points. He's got some points wrong. The first point he's got wrong is that he makes it out as if everyone booed them off stage. Everyone hated their presence there, which isn't true at all. Really, as far as I've seen in Sydney, the only people that didn't like the Sydney crew being there, which is, I think it was Joel Davis and some other guys, I don't know their names, it was like fucking like 5 people. It was like one guy who got really mad. He got his phone out. I'll see if I can find it later. He got his phone out and he's like, tell them on, we're not racist. We're not racist, tell them. And he's freaking the fuck out. And he gets like some other old lady involved and some other migrant dude involved. And that was basically it, I heard, as far as I could see. Just a couple of people, like a handful of people. I was in Brisbane. They were pretty welcomed. Like, I think it was Jacob Hurst in Brisbane. He was pretty welcomed. They sort of minded their own business for the most part. They were up the front of the march and they did some chants. A lot of people joined in. A lot of people chanted back and, kind of, how do stamped it out, right? They just put down the chants. So they kind of quiet and they shut them up, basically. But it was pretty peaceful. It was pretty like, no one was like, get the fuck out of here. No one was having to go. In Melbourne, I mean, they let Thomas like lead the speech, have a speech. And it was somewhat well received. But look, there were some people, I would say, particularly in Melbourne. From what I'm hearing, there are a lot of people were fairly confused that the NSN played such a big role in the march. So it is a bit, it's a bit confusing. There is a bit of grey. On top of this, he talks about them being militant, them being sort of like antisocial. I don't think that's even wrong. I don't think that's even like incorrect. I think that it's pretty true. There are speeches the NSN give where they're like, we are militant, we are like aggressive. And that's the role they play. He also, Nick Fuentes says here, we need a nationalist movement that isn't NSN, basically, that isn't National Socialist. And I agree with that as well, that we do need something a little bit more to the center that isn't full-blown National Socialist militantism, whatever you want to call it. But we don't have that yet. And the most organized nationalist group we have in this country is the NSN. So, of course, when protests happen, unless they are explicitly banned, they're most likely going to overshadow the protest to an extent because they are the most organized group. There's no other group that's as organized as, collective as them. So they're going to stand out and they're going to take up a bit of the spotlight, and the media loves them. So the media is going to make them a big deal, and it's going to look like they took over the event. Where I don't necessarily think they did, altogether, all things considered. So Nick Fuentes, some good takes, some bad takes. But yeah, we'll carry on, move on. Let's look at the chat. So Michael, they got cheered when they walked into Sydney, did they? Even though they weren't needed. Chris Covery says footage of the crowd leaving after the yeah, well, I'm not sure. So like as far as I understand, in Sydney they had the open mic, which basically got completely taken over by the NSN, but they didn't speak on the main stage as far as I know. It was just all organized speakers. Maybe was Joel on the organized speaker, or was he on the free stage? I'm not sure. But anyway, they were there and it happened. And so be it, I don't think it was that big of a deal. Which city was the guy with the Indian guy? That was Brisbane, and we should find that because that was a bit of a joke. But let's look. So we'll close that then. That's what Nick Fuentes had to say. Pretty interesting. What else we got? We got Ozpill here talking about all the grifters. Oh, this is me suspended, guys. I'm suspended. My account's dead. Rest in peace. What's news? Yeah. Like and share. Like the live, guys. 11 people watching, 4 likes. Come on, juice me up a bit. I think I can still look at some of the things I shared, but I'm pretty sure I got banned because of the Aboriginal flag thing. So maybe we should get into that. The Aboriginal flag thing, I've attracted a lot of haters because I went out there in Brisbane and I started calling out people for bringing the Aboriginal flag. And it probably wasn't my best moment, but I did it. And I did it because as far as I understood, that was the rule. There was no Aboriginal flags. It was only Australian flags. And I heard so many rumors of people talking about how people that bring this flag will be asked to put it away. That some guys talk about how if they see that fucking flag, they're going to go and rip it down from people. They're going to tear it out of people's hands. And so I thought that was the vibe. I thought that's what we were doing on the day. And I'm not the kind of guy I'm not going to rip a flag out of someone's hand. I'm not that. I'd rather just like speak my mind. But so I thought, okay, that's the vibe. So I'm here. I saw a bunch of flags being waved around by people who I could tell didn't have great intentions. They were trying to stand out. So I went up to them, mentioned it to them, had a little bit of a yarn, had a little bit of a bogan. My inner Bathurst boy came out. Like, fucking just take it away, cunt. And then I find out, everyone's cucked on the Aboriginal flag thing. Everyone's just accepted it. So in Melbourne, I saw Aboriginal flags in the rally. I saw Alex Jones did a special where he's showing one of the Aboriginal flags in the march. And then Beck Freedom in Sydney even said to Chris Coveries, "Oh no, the Aboriginal flag is welcomed." And I was like, "What?" I was so confused. But that's just what happened. So I'll take a look at that, and heaps of people gave me shit for that, saying, "Oh, you should want your fucking flag, please, you fucking Karen." guys, it's a communist flag. The whole land rights movement is a communist movement. That flag does not represent Australian values at all, okay? They are trying to be a breakaway society, and that flag is a symbol of that. It shouldn't have been welcomed. It should have been explicit what flags were welcomed. They should have just put pictures up. The organizers should have just put a picture of the blue flag, of the Eureka flag if they welcomed it, whatever flag they wanted. They should have shown you examples, because the problem we've got in this country right now is that no one knows what Australia means. No one knows what an Australian is defined by. So everyone says, oh, it's an Australian flag because the state says it is. Well, it's only been that way since, 1994, so when everything went to shit already. So, okay, well, the state says that a man can be a woman, so do you agree with that? So it's just stupid, They should have clarified it. They should have really made it clear to people. But yeah, I'll show you like what my defense is for this, if I can find it. So here's Beck saying that the flag is welcomed.
Any violence, any aggression, that's all really. And any foreign flags, because as I stated, no foreign flags allowed. This is about Australia and Australia only. Aboriginal flags are allowed.
Are they? What the fuck? Since when? Since when? I swear I was in a live the night before, and I was reacting to Beck saying, no Aboriginal flags, don't bring them. I was like, yes, good. You're making it clear. You're making it solid. I will help. I will support that. I will get active. If I see them myself, I'll be the Brisbane guy. And maybe I thought, okay, after that, the next day we'll see footage of people confronting people about the flag in other cities. But no, it was just me. It was just me. And then this is the space where Beck said that the flag basically isn't welcomed. And I'm not doing this to have a go at Beck. Okay, she had a lot of pressure on her. I'm sure that once she rocked up at the rally and saw the flags and saw the people, she realized, okay, we can't do that. It's not worth it. Bail, just let it happen. So whatever, I'm not having a go at her. I'm just explaining why I thought it was appropriate to do that. Because honestly, if I had known that the vibe was just leave them alone, just ignore them, I wouldn't have gone up to them. I would have just been like, ugh, why'd you bring that flag? But because I thought the vibe was that, God damn it, Let me see, but this is what Beck said about the flag.
This isn't a popular opinion. I will be asking, or somebody will be asking you to please fold it up and leave it aside. We want to send a message of unity and Australians walking together. So although, yes, I would prefer the Indigenous not bring an Aboriginal flag, I can't really stop you, and I understand why there was a lot of frustration around that, but I would rather you not bring it. Once again, I'm making this very freaking crystal clear.
I have nothing against in itself other than for this particular march.
So there it
is a race-based flag, and that is not what we're there for. We're there for to be against mass immigration. The only flag that embraces absolutely everyone is the Australian flag, and therefore that is the one that should be flown.
True. And they're right. It is. They're completely right. But it got optics cucked somehow. So that's my defense of why I did that. Excuse me, hold on. That's my defense of why I confronted those people, because I thought that was the policy. But whatever, I got left out to die. Got attacked by. I think that's what got me banned. It's one of the things that got me banned. I think that was like mass reporting from that. And look, it's my hubris for recording it and putting it up there boldly. Whatever, you play with fire, you get burnt. It is what it is. Hopefully, I get my account back. If not, we ride on. Let's see what the chat says about that. How am I looking, guys? Should I be hung for confronting Aboriginals about the flag? Joel was on the open mic. They were all open mic. Yeah, so it wasn't even really organized for them to speak. But they took the opportunity. You can't blame them for that. I didn't see any kosher flags that was stated. Yeah, it was stated Australian flags only. Yeah, not everything's going to be listed. Listening to X Spaces, though, that's so true. And that's what I mean. They should have given you visual examples. They should have made it explicitly clear. Because for people like me, who's kind of, I'm somewhat in the loop, right? Like that's the message I got. But other content creators couldn't even pull me up, said that's not the vibe. So just a confusing rally. Was a little autistic, but it was a little autistic. I'm a rules guy, okay? If the boys say we're not allowing Aboriginal flags, I'm gonna be there telling people to get fucked with Aboriginal flags, okay? If the vibe was Aboriginal flags are cool, okay, I don't care. So whatever. But yeah, it was a bit autistic. And, you know, people gave me shit for that because they were saying, like, oh, you're confronting old women, you're confronting old men, like, just fucking, what a pathetic fucking cunt. And it's like, yeah, I confronted the old woman, but, like, just because she's an old woman doesn't give her, like, defense automatically. It doesn't make her, like, innocent automatically. If we had a march for Australia and it wasn't some old granny with an Israel flag and I confronted her, it's like, okay, well, granny, you shouldn't have brought the flag, love. Okay, don't get mad at me. You know, I wasn't swearing at her. I didn't abuse her. I mean, I said piss off, but I wasn't having to go at her personally. I was just saying, look, you shouldn't have brought that flag. But whatever. It is what it is. It's over now. But let's see what we got. So that's my defense. I'm just defending myself. Oh, this is another good one. This is a great one. Oh, wait, no, this is the Australian Guard video. The Australian Guard's been doing some great work, by the way. You should check them out. But this is... Let's see. Yeah, this is when Avi's... Okay, this is just a clip. But Avi, yeah, obviously Avi Yemeni went right into the Melbourne protest and got his security guards beaten up by a bunch of literal Nazis. I don't know why you would, as a Australia's most famous Jewish man, walk into a group of angry Nazis, but he did it, and he thought that was a good idea. So let's see if we can find that actually. Where would that be? Here goes my camera. Give me a sec. I told you. I warned you. What time is it? Let's time these. I need to time these bloody 6:28. Someone said, crying out in pain as he strikes the crowd. Someone said you need a woman with a firm hand to go tell granny. Yeah, you do. You need a woman to be doing that kind of stuff. But because yeah, if masculinity confronts, but we just hate masculinity these days, don't we? We can't stand it. Any masculinity is just abuse. So unfortunately, I got labeled with the abusive title. We had this. This is what I'm talking about. People are really trying to frame this as a multicultural March for Australia. People are really optics cucked on this, and the boomers came out in droves and really crippled the message, in my opinion, with shit like this kind of. I mean, whatever. They came, but it's not even these guys. It's not even the guys that went to the march. Whatever. These guys are just living their lives. It's the creators that are taking this and using it to counter signal the original message, which is anti-immigration, preserve our demographics, preserve our identity. And these guys just cucked it. So it's a bit of a shame. But let's see if we can find this Avi Yemeni thing. Avi Yemeni. You think this is another example of just them like, yes, what this guy's saying, like it's the who's hijacking the event. I can't say that word on YouTube, but yeah, you got Tommy Robinson literally collabing with Avi Yemeni to share footage of two black guys hugging an old boomer singing the Australian anthem at a March for Australia rally that is against immigration. It's just a joke, it's just the jokes write themselves. Here we go. Well, let's look at this. If this is what we've got, we'll do the RV afterwards, right? But so you've got fucking boomers, man. The fucking boomers. The boomers. I said this in a tweet, which you probably can't see now because I'm banned. But I said this in a tweet that you've got to realize the boomers are still the largest demographic cohort in this country. Okay, they still get to dictate what kind of tone events have, what kind of tone a protest happens, merely by showing up, and merely by just interacting with the protest, they dictate what the vibe is. And this is the perfect example of this, which is some boomer finds these two African guys who are content creators, right? These guys are like streaming content creators. They're trying to do like the Kai Cenat streamer, like IRL streaming thing. So they're looking for a bit. They're looking for like a little, media bite, and they got it perfectly because this boomer here couldn't help himself. He saw the Africans, and he was like, "Holy shit, this is my time to make sure that everyone knows that this protest isn't racist. That this protest is about multicultural unity and love." And it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. Like just in hysteria, right? Like Look at this guy. He is hysterical. Let's fucking zoom in. Give me a sec. Hold on, man. I'm streaming. But this guy here. Look at this. Look at this face. Look at this face. Just in bloody. And you got this guy. And someone posted this great thing. If they say like, this is someone holding up their NDIS patient, but it's just because we don't want to be labeled as racist. No one wants to be labeled as racist.
Stop to be a part of it or fuck off. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Is that the grandmother got spat on?
Aussie!
That is. That's the grandmother that got spat on. Oh wow. So yeah, it's just the tone is completely just all over the place. No one really knows what's going on. Let's look at the chat. They knew the anthem. They did know the anthem. I got nothing wrong with them. Like, good on them. Like, I got nothing wrong with them singing the anthem. But it's just the fact that the media, again, I'm pointing the finger at the media here for taking this and then trying to paint this as what the march was really intended about. Like, intended for. Can I get out of this? So this is what he said, forget the Nazis. These Aussies were the real story at today's March for Australia. 99.5% of Melbourne were proud patriots. Yet the media zeroed. So proud patriots means accept everyone becoming Australian. That's what that means. It means accept Africans are now just as Australian as you. It doesn't matter if Australia becomes 99% African. It's still Australia. And boomers just don't take the logic to its end point. They don't care. They don't care. So that was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty, here it is. Here's the part where Avi Yemeni goes into the crowd. Got Thomas Sewell here, the NSN lads here. And, it's hard, right? It's hard because these guys are pretty aggressive. I don't know if I would jump in on that personally. I'm a self-defense kind of violence guy. I'm not like beat the shit out of the Jewish media guys' security force. But, it is what it is. They should have been prepared for that. They should have anticipated people being riled up and angry. And that's what you get. You fuck around, you find out. Avi fucked around, he found out. If you're a Jew, if you're Australia's most famous Jew, you probably shouldn't walk into the neo-Nazi part of the rally. Doesn't matter how much of an honest journalist you want to be, it's probably not a good idea. Yeah, Avi barely was even touched compared to his security guard, dude. His security guard probably got a concussion. But, yeah, Avi's just, whatever. He copped it. So we're getting through it. My iPad on charge. Make sure you share the stream. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Like the stream. But yeah, so we got that. RV Yemeni, Rebel News. All the usual suspects involved there. I just hate this picture so much. But anyway, so more where should we go from now? So what have we done? We've done Sewell. We've done the clash on the streets. We should do Camp Sovereignty. But I'll wait for my camera to click out maybe. But what else has been happening? You've had heaps of coverage from Oz versus the Agenda as usual. So thank you for that. There was a great one. We've got Penny Wong here talking about the march. Let's see what she has to say. So Senator Penny Wong has condemned the March for Australia protest, declaring, "We are a great multicultural nation. This is who we are. This is the Australia we must protect. Anti-immigration rallies are not who we are." Really, Penny? Are you sure? What's the landing flat rights? I wonder what they were. What's the White Australia policy? What's that? I feel like that had a big deal, a big role to play in Australia.
We are a great multicultural nation, a great multicultural nation. That is who we are, and I am proud of it. And this is the Australia we must protect, and this is the Australia we must nurture. Neo-Nazis and anti-immigration rallies are not who we are. These are not Australian values. Australians are not haters. Australians don't turn on one another. Australians know that we are stronger together, and Australians know that together is how we build our country.
Well, it's not really working, is it? We're not really building much together, are we? We've sort of just got ethnic conflicts rising every single week. You've sort of got, Africans just, having Sudanese activity, gang bashings at parties. It's such a joke. This little CCP clown over here.
Great.
This is what they're talking about. They want to defend multicultural Australia, new Australia, not old Australia, which means that new Australia, everyone is just Australian. So it doesn't matter if it's doesn't matter. So they're telling you, basically saying, white Australians aren't allowed to stand up to their demographic replacement. They're not allowed to stand up to them being ethnically cleansed, to their statues being torn down, to their history books being rewritten. They just have to deal with it because that's not who we are anymore, because the government says so. Okay? I just hate these people so much. And I think there was a snippet where Albanese explicitly mentioned the White Australia policy, which is pretty interesting, because you'd think they would try and avoid mentioning it as much as possible. If I can find that. Is this it? This might be it.
People, that's called elections. And we have, first regarding the will of the people, that's called elections. And we have a proud democracy in this country, and I defend it. And people in this country voted for a government that would understand that modern Australia was, as the Minister has just reflected, a different nation than it was under the White Australia policy some time ago. And they voted for a government that would understand that our diversity is a strength.
So there you go, he's telling you right there that the new Australia is against White Australia policy. And just to clarify, we never voted for the White Australia policy to be dismantled. He's saying that the Australians at the time voted for a government who would dismantle that policy. That was not explicit at all. That policy was slowly unraveled, bit by bit. They slowly weakened it, slowly diluted it, more and more and more, until eventually disappeared. And on top of that, we had, social engineering, societal engineering happening within our universities, within our institutions, within our media. You had targeted, what did you call them? Targeted marketing campaigns to convince Australians that this is acceptable, that multicultural Australia is the new Australia. Things like the beautiful Balts, where they brought in, they did like footage of all these beautiful Baltic people who were kind of like white leaning to convince Australians, it's not just British people that are good looking. These migrants will fit in just right if they look like this, won't they? And then that led to the shit show we're in now. So it led to us accepting bloody Vietnamese, Chinese, Middle Easterners, keeps going. And then by that point, the entire definition of an Australian has been perverted. So you can't even stand up for it anymore. And that's what we're trying to undo. We're trying to figure out what is an Australian, who is Australia for, and that's what this protest is about. But the boomers don't want to think about that. The boomers don't want to talk about that at all. It's pretty interesting. What else? Well, yeah, of course, this September 13th rally from the true patriots, the ones that embrace all the flags, the ones that embrace, restrictive immigration policy. We just need, immigration policy that, is in line with our economy. It doesn't matter if we become all Asians. 80% Asian, it doesn't matter. As long as everyone's got a house, that's all that matters. Okay, just remember that. But yeah, so this is going to take place on the 12th. We shall see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Lozzie's really trying to milk this or blow it up because she fully bailed on the original protest. But such is life. Where should we go? Let's do the camp sovereignty thing before I lose steam, because I'm not a professional streamer. So camp sovereignty was the big deal. Okay, this is like really what the media is going crazy about, and it is a big deal. It's pretty shocking sight, all things considered. So I did mention this earlier in the stream, but if you weren't watching, essentially there's a thing called camp sovereignty. Let's see if we can look it up. Is there a map? I'm not sure. This is camp sovereignty, right? So it's just a place in Melbourne near the War Memorial where I think Aboriginals basically just took it over and demanded that this is now their little sovereign camp, little base of activities to be activists, etc., etc., etc. And from how the media is portraying it, it basically looks like the NSM were leaving the march and they just went, fuck it. This is an opportunity. We're going to charge that hill, take their flags, beat up their women, beat up their people, get the fuck out of there, and put a video up online. And it looks really bad. It does look really bad, and it's not a pretty situation at all. But what they don't include is the fact that there are multiple reports of people leaving the march, everyday Australians wearing flags, just leaving the protest, who were getting targeted by people on that camp who were coming down from the camp, Aboriginal activists or just leftist activists, coming down from the camp, gang bashing them, vandalizing their cars, spray painting their cars. There's reports of people riding around on bikes and just blasting music and having all sorts of flags with Palestinian flags. Just crazy shit, crazy Melbourne schizo shit. And apparently the NSN, as far as I understand, caught wind of this. They brought NSN members or just random, Aussie blokes, and they charged it, and it got a bit out of hand, and it went crazy. So let's read this article. This is from the Noticer. So yes, nationalists hit back after leftists attacked flag-wearing patriots near Aboriginal camp. Nationalist activists have clashed with far-left counter-protesters who witnesses say were attacking flag-wearing March for Australia rally attendees near an illegal Aboriginal squatter camp in Melbourne CBD. So it's illegal. It's not even legal. I thought the government sort of accepted it. Video taken by anti-Australian Aboriginal activists and left-wing extremist groups show about 70 members of the National Socialist Network, including leader Thomas Sewell, charge up a hill at King's Domain, where so-called camp sovereignty is set up late on Sunday afternoon. Camp sovereignty is an unlawful encampment where militant anti-Australian Indigenous activists want to seize public land for themselves and has been the subject of repeated calls to be dismantled since it was established in January 2024. So it's only existed for like a year and a bit. And they're already acting as if this is the new stronghold, the new fort, Aboriginal fort. This is the footage you can find. It's a full video. I can't do full stream now. It's annoying.
Jesus.
Okay, hold on. Here you go. So this is the woman who uploaded it. So yeah, they charge up. It's pretty, hectic scene. They charge up. Well, just take the flag,
Jesus.
have a bit of a brawl. And it gets pretty hectic. People are throwing sticks around. People are throwing all sorts of things around. And there is a scene, I can't find it right now, of a woman getting beat with a stick, I think. And a couple of women were taken to hospital after that, which isn't good. Obviously, we don't want any women getting hurt at marches or at protests. But I will say, from what I've heard, some of these women were all geared up. Some of these women had all the masks on, the goggles, the gloves, everything, the padding. So they went there trying to be activists, trying to be sort of dissidents. And they got in the line of fire. They got involved with the other end of the extreme spectrum. And as far as I'm concerned, you fuck around, you find out, okay? If you're a woman, you should not be anywhere near the front line of the protest. You should not be anywhere near the angry man in black, okay? That's probably my best advice. go away. Go to the other side of the park. I don't think these guys were going up trying to target women. Like I said though, I don't. Even if a woman is cluttered up, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be doing that, and I would probably be pulling people off. But I'm saying, these guys have different takes, so they're a bit more extreme. But again, you fuck around, you find out. Don't get involved with that shit. If you're a woman, leave it alone. Leave the fighting to the men. In my opinion, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. But it's illegal for them to be there. Every Aboriginal activist is like 164. Someone said the McKinnery guy in Sydney was talking about the returns Australian to supermajority Anglo. I think everyone was behind that in Sydney. Everyone there understood the tragedy of Anglos being dispossessed. Yeah, I saw his speech. His was one of the best speeches I saw, and I've heard lots of good things about that guy. I think he's gonna be speaking. I think up here, this is Stephen McKinnery here. He gave that speech. It was really good. Stephen Chivura, I'm confused about though, because he was glazing the protest so hard days before, and then I didn't see any footage of him even being at the protest. Barely see any footage of him going, supporting it really. And then he's like posting shit, glazing this lot here. I'll show you down here. He's like, so this is a post from Ozpil saying, none of these filthy grifting dogs supported March for Australia, but now that it was a massive success, they're coming out and saying they agree with it all along. Many of them actively counter-signaled it. Now they are trying to tell us what it was and wasn't about. Like classic fucking Big Chocky. These guys, like Joel, all these fucking guys, man. And then, Stephen Chivura came in saying, mate, these are all honourable men who have had legitimate concerns about these rallies. I have my own concerns as well. Some of these, like Joel and Avi, are men who spoke for us during COVID. Massive respect. They've all done a lot for Australia. Rather than burn bridges, let's see what we can all work together on. Yeah, but the problem, Stephen, is that they don't care if Australia becomes majority non-Anglo or non-white. They don't give a shit. They're fine with it becoming a Chinese country, a Chinese continent, or an Asian continent. They don't give a shit. That's the problem, mate. So just saying, oh yeah, they spoke up during COVID, good. Everyone should have spoken up during COVID. It was pretty, clear what the right and wrong take was during that. But this is a lot more complicated, and these guys aren't willing to dive into the minutiae of the topic. They're not willing to explore the controversial and complicated parts of identity, of demographics, of culture, nothing. They fucking just, especially Big Chocky. Big Chocky fucking enrages me. He just goes, Australian spirit, Australian values, just yells into a fucking mic. And it's like, dude, what are you fucking talking about? I don't even understand your worldview. I don't understand, like, hardly any of these guys' worldview at all. I don't understand what they think about anything, like anything really at this point. It's just a joke. No son of Stephen. He got the call. I think he did get the call. I think he really did. We got Scott Ozpil. Let's have a look at what Ozpil's been posting. My pattern recognition is sounding the alarm. Why are they suddenly being fed-jacketed by senators and the free movement / grift right simultaneously? Something is off. What's this about? I don't even know what he's talking about. I've got no idea what that's about. Is it talking about the NSN? But yeah, so it's a bit of a shit show. That's the camp sovereignty thing. I should explore that a bit more, actually. There's some things I left out. So some of the witnesses accounts, or the witness accounts were, they told me that 10 to 20 people had cited them walking out of the CBD, run down a hill and beat them into the ground before laying the boot into them. This is from one witness who was sitting in his car a short distance from the encampment. So that this camp on top of the hill was not peaceful. They were gang bashing normal attendees of the rally as they were leaving solo or in pairs. The people in the camp were the cowards attacking peaceful attendees. Then the NSN rolled them. So again, fuck around, find out. If you want to get involved with the violent part of activism, that's what's going to happen. A second witness said he saw a group of anti-fascists come down from the hill to attack 2 white Australians and claim people were present during the assault. I saw the man being pushed in the head and kicked while on the ground. 2 police officers on motorcycles were present at the scene but appeared reluctant to intervene. So the police were reluctant to intervene of men getting bashed by activists from Camp Sovereignty. So if the police aren't willing to intervene and defend Australians, well, look, if the NSN's going to do it, then so be it. Again, I don't think women should be getting involved or being hurt in the process, but someone's got to put them in their place. And these are some of the pictures, obviously, of the cars being vandalized, which are right across the road from the camp. And it's just a shit show. But of course, the media is just not even portraying it. Let's see what the chat says. Female Antifa adept Soriatus. Yeah, but the Walmart version, yeah, no son of Stephen. No one wants to acknowledge a race. Ospel did an interview with Sarah Stock. Yep. Isn't Ospel in White Rose? How is he separate from NSN? I don't really know much about White Rose. He does have aura. He is very aura filled. Look, he can be the aura farmer. I'll be the autistic political spurg, being like, fucking flag, isn't our flag gun? But it's pretty funny. But yeah, look at these scales, like this Chris Covery. Chris Covery did a lot of good footage. And apparently the NSN gave him shit. Like they were like fucking calling him names and shit. Like, I don't see what the problem with him is. Like Chris Covery's done like great work at really, shining some light on the stuff going around the country. He's a bit antisocial. He's not the most personable guy all the time, but I think he does great work. The NSN should, he's our guy, isn't he? As far as I'm concerned. Look at this. Beautiful song. Beautiful song. And there's no Aboriginal flags. Isn't that nice? But what else? I got this lady. What's her name? Marine Faruqi. Of course, the Indian who came here when she was like 30.
Just this morning, I received this message. F you and piss off back to...
No comment. Yeah, here's Alex Jones. This is what I was talking about, right? So with the Aboriginal flag stuff, it's not a big deal. It's not a massive deal, is it? But
in Scotland, in Ireland.
Yeah, he's talking about the protests.
In England, massive protest against the open borders, against the illegal alien invasion.
Someone just said Chris Coveries was trying his hardest to juice a negative reaction to the NSN speakers. How so? Someone said, while we're here, has anyone heard about the Muslims raging after dark in Brizzy Sunday night? Smashed cars, glass bottles thrown. Are you kidding me? In Brizzy? What are you talking about? Seriously? Let's see. Where'd you hear that? Any source for that? That'd be interesting to look into. If you can send me it. Crazy though. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I think I saw we'll get into this lady. So this is the lady that spat on the old woman. This guy's obviously gone full at her and fully found her. But that's what you fucking get, in my opinion. If you're gonna spit on an old lady. Where is that post? Oh, this is pretty great. I'm just going to show this quick. This is like, it's obviously Thomas Sewell confronted Jacinta Allen. Pretty fucking hilarious. pretty spot on. But someone said, my workmate was at the pub and watched them. That's crazy if that's true. How many cars? Like, those smashing up. I'd love to know more about that. It sounds terrifying, but I'm not surprised either. Yeah, it's going to be interesting how this keeps going, especially... Oh, this is what I got. I have my revenue cut. It's the only platform I was getting even a couple of cents from. And, it's gone. It's gone. I'm left hanging. But, so yeah, we've got that. This is a great post. Because yeah, just think about all the people. This is from August 27. All the people that were like threatening us, that were warning us, saying, "Oh, it's gonna be some fucking disgusting thing." Yet so many like migrants literally threatening us with violence, saying they're gonna, do a shoot up. And it's just bizarre. Not found. It's crazy. Where should we go to now? What else? What else? This bit looks very ish. A little bit. If I can find her, I need to get my fucking things sorted. I think I had it on my main page actually. And that sucks to hear if Chris was kind of like stirring them up. Because obviously, yeah. So this is the woman, this girl spitting. Yo, what's going on? Spitting on an old woman.
I'm bloody 80 in a couple of weeks, and I've come here today to show my support for Australia. We're trying to do a march once. They're here every single
Disgusting.
weekend.
And this is the thing where it's like, they go on about, women got beat. Well, it's like, fucking, if women doing this kind of shit, I'm not saying a man should beat them, right? But maybe another woman, maybe a right-wing woman. We need some right-wing MMA girls to come down and deal with the women so we can, conserve our optics if they do this shit. Because what do you expect? Like, they hide behind this defense of being a woman, but they're not acting like a woman. They're acting like a pig. So, but this same guy though, this was the guy that was burning the flag. There's a picture of him putting his mask on later and burning the flag. Just a joke. What else? Let's see. Please like the live, guys. If you're watching, you're enjoying it, make sure you subscribe. It helps me out a heap. I'm going to try and build the YouTube up and I'm taking a break from X because obviously I'm banned. So I'm not going to do daily posting. My camera, what time is it? 58. What was it, 28? So you got like 30 minutes before my camera goes dead every time. Love you, Gran. Yeah, it was feral. He counted 5 cars, but yeah, no the info. Sorry, guys. That's fucking, it's crazy. Yeah, it's all the African Asian TikToks trying to threaten. Yeah, they're all threatening us. And you got to think like, I don't know. Like, it's concerning though. And you think, we've got all these Asians threatening explicit violence, and you've got the NSN reacting to violence or reacting to antagonism. But of course, the NSN are the only ones that get held accountable for violence or threats or anything. And it's just so one-sided. It's just gross. Actually, I got nothing there. I don't know why I keep clicking on that. But yeah, you also have this thing here with people going to the Yum Jar thing, and all the leftists are eating this up. They love using this, and I kind of agree with them. It is stupid to go from an anti-immigration protest to a Yum Cha restaurant. If the state isn't listening to you about your concerns regarding immigration, maybe you should put your money where your mouth is and not support immigrant businesses. I'm just saying, if you want to try and make a difference, maybe you should try and find Anglo-owned businesses. But again, these boomers or these normies, they don't care about that. They don't think about that. They don't go to the shopping center and look at the owners of the business and think to themselves, oh, it is kind of weird that it's all Asian-owned businesses in this shopping center now, isn't it? It's either Asian-owned businesses or it's like multinational conglomerates. And they just don't think about that ever. That's one of the things that terrifies me the most. That's one of the things that really, really fucking scares me is the business side of things. Is that all our businesses are being owned by foreigners, and that we're just being becoming like worker class, which, if you're the working class, you're not the owning class, you don't have a lot of political power. So, what else we got? I know I keep clicking on this. I've got like a fucking, the addiction, man. The X addiction makes me want to keep clicking. This is Melbourne. It's pretty massive. I can play this. If it loads. It won't load. But and I recommend you look at all the speech. I don't think I'll look at all the speeches tonight. I can't be fucked on that. But what else? Yavi. I don't think let's have a look at this. We got some good footage. Oh yeah, this the peak, man. We should look into this. This is one thing we haven't explored. The Indian on stage in Melbourne. The Indian on stage in sorry, Brisbane, excuse me. I think I posted. I think I can still look at that. Yeah, you can see some of my videos are just like can't be played, but then some of them are allowed. So I don't know. I think they censored me because of these Aboriginal videos. Can't question the Aboriginals, guys. Sorry. But so this is some footage of when it happened.
He will look like a foreigner. A foreigner. He will look like a foreigner. And he said he would like to speak. And he gave us notice to speak. Just like me, he became a citizen. Thanks, mate. So, I want to say that, yes, I'm a brown man. Yes, I'm an immigrant from India.
Such a hard
But
watch.
I came here for the right reason. So, that is what immigration meant around the world. Yeah. Not taking, but giving. Not demanding, but respecting. Yes. But what I see happening today, this is not immigration. This is an open door policy. Anyone can come in, claim a spot.
So it was pretty damn divided. I was there.
That Australia change for them. No! They are not blending in our culture. They are not protecting our freedom. Yes. They are twisting it. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Fuck this! I'm sick of this bullshit.
And then the Aussie just full bogan up. I actually saw this guy. I didn't realize I was filming. I've got some footage of this bloke walking down. Looked at my camera. He's like, yeah, cunt. So I need to put that together. I need to do like a little edit because I got some good footage of that bloke. But yeah, they put an Indian on stage in Brisbane, guys. Like, what the fuck? Who thought that was a good idea? It's an anti-immigration rally. And this is the problem you get when you don't point out the fact that one of the major issues is the demographic replacement. One of the major issues is us becoming minorities in our own country. Is that, oh, immigration, as long as they bring skills, it's fine. It's not fine. We don't want to become a minority in our own country. I'm personally okay with some, Asians living here and there, but, it's a slippery slope, and I understand why people are fully extreme with it, and they say that, deport every last one of them, because they just, it does arise issues, always, it will arise issues. So the guy sounds like he's been here for 10 minutes. Yeah. Why are they bringing India on the stage? I got no fucking idea. But what was I looking at? So you got that, and then yeah, so that's another shot. So some people got some good footage of that. But I was in the crowd, and the boos were pretty loud compared to the cheers as well. The boos were mainly led by the NSN. I will say that Jacob Herson was at the front of the rally. Jacob was probably 100 meters or so, maybe less. 100 meters. I don't know how far that is. Anyway, a couple of meters away. Not 100 meters. He was a couple of meters away from the stage here, and they were kind of like lined up together, kind of leading the chants. But it wasn't just the NSN guys. Like, it was a lot of normal guys, and it's just a mockery to us. We came out in Brisbane to protest, our identity being perverted, all these things, and they bring an Indian with the green and gold on, who sounds like an Indian. It's just fucking stupid. And I said this in a post, like, Queensland's meant to be like the fucking, full on Aussie culture shit. We're not meant to be. There's Melbourne. Melbourne's the leftist capital. Brisbane's meant to be like the right capital, in my opinion. Or it should be. I'm hoping it becomes that. And they just cucked what could have been the most staunch, solid protest in the entire country. And it could have really added to Queensland becoming a proper vanguard for this movement. But unfortunately not. And I think a lot of the organisers were pretty annoyed by this. So we'll see how it goes next time. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I will say Shallow Chow did a great job. Even though he let this guy on, I don't think I'm not sure, how much of a say he had in it. But I think overall he did a pretty good job. And you have to admit that a lot of the people that came were boomer coded, and I think he was a good voice for them. I've got a lot of positive receptions from the video or the interview I did with him. A lot of the people really supported his message, and he does, attack a lot of the good points, but there is the dissident right that is being ignored, and we want to have a movement. We want to have protests where we're not afraid to say what we want, and that's why the frustration is growing. Let's have a look. Pathetic attempt to claim the narrative. If citizens want to be taken seriously, they need to be a robust set of discriminatory policies. Do you think Brisbane was the least radical of all the major rallies? I was in Brisbane, and it seems to have a way more conservative. Yeah, I think so. I think it's almost because the threat of violence and the threat of Antifa was so low here, that you've got people just kind of complacent. But yeah, it seemed very cucked. It seemed very boomer coded. But there were a lot of good chants coming too. Like a lot of like send them backs, a lot of like go home. But I think overall we were outnumbered by the Conservatives compared to the other cities, where the far right got a lot more of a platform. Brisbane, wasn't so much of that, but we did have that. What else happened in Brisbane? Those two flag guys. One of those flag guys I saw literally assault a guy. Like we're walking down the march, and this guy was literally barging a dude in front of his kids and wife. That was pretty gross. Queensland is also very white. Yeah, I don't think we've been. Yeah, I don't think Queensland is really. They just kind of like, oh fuck, we'll move up north. We'll get away from all the bullshit. They want to mind their own business, but that's the problem. Whereas in Melbourne, it's like Antifa are literally monitoring everything. They're monitoring the entire scene. They're monitoring all the social media stuff. So it's a bit different. We covered that. So we covered that. What else should we get into? Maybe let's get into the slop, hey? Not the Ozpol slop. I mean, we'll get into some of my saved slop posts. But what else? But overall, I think it was pretty good. Oh, this is crazy. I won't cover that today, but that's fucking insane. But yeah, I think there was a post I saved on my Instagram. Let's see if I can find that. Of if I can get it. Yeah, this lady here. We'll go through my Instagram favorites and my TikTok favorites now, because I basically covered all the major things, I think. All the major clashes. We did have a bit of Antifa stuff in Brisbane, actually, before I move on. The Antifa tried to block us in to the gated amphitheater, basically. And as we came up, it was pretty staunch. I thought it was pretty staunch. I was involved in it. We were basically all like just chanting at the protesters, having a go at them. Heaps of traitors, heaps of, like, a lot of rage in the crowd. A lot of guys in front of me like, we're gonna fucking bash him. And I was like, no, chill. It's all right. We're not there yet. But a lot of those guys did want to kind of have a go at them. I think I had that. Where was it? The Australian Guard shared that, actually. We'll do that first. Thomas invading the morning news. That was pretty funny, eh? People are really suspicious that like they're feds now because of that. It's pretty intense.
I want to see my tech.
So this is from Australian Guard. They covered the Brisbane rally really well, extremely well. So this is Brisbane. And I was gonna say, like, the merch stuff, we've been given like the grift right, a lot of shit for merch. There's nothing wrong with selling merch, guys. Okay, we need to make a living somehow. So with that said, buy my. No, I don't have merch yet. But there's nothing wrong with it. If they are traitors though, and they're perverting the message, then that's not good. But so this is Brisbane.
All sources for the footage used are in the description below, and big thanks to this guy up in Brisbane, Fraser Silky, for allowing me to use his interview footage. Like and hype the video, enjoy. To support us, consider becoming a YouTube channel member or Patreon, or check out our merch, links in the description below.
We're taking here tonight, Australians, to celebrate our country, to fly the Australian flag, and nothing never be compromised. We're here in front of you tonight because I love this country. I love it with all my heart. As do you all. I can say it. I can feel it. You can sense it. Today there won't be any confrontation, there won't be any dramas, there won't be any problems. That's what the media wants. They want that. It's not going to happen. We're going to show them that we love our country. You're the dangerous. We know what's going on here. You know what's going on here. You're here today because you...
So it's a pretty massive turnout, right? Massive turnout. And like, honestly, there were 3 Aboriginal flags I saw in the crowd. I pointed them all out and I went after them pretty targetedly. But besides that, it was like a massive Aussie turnout.
Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your country. We are Australians, and we will not be ashamed of our flag anymore.
Hey, and I think so. This is the NSN here. You can see them. That's like Jacob Hurst and all the lads there. So they're pretty like. What happened was when they first rocked up, I was there and there was like a little chanting of like, let them speak, let them speak. A little bit of a face off between the organisers down here and the NSN up here regarding whether or not they'd be welcomed into the whole rally, welcomed into the whole thing. And the protesters, you know, eventually decided no, they're not going to be accepted at all. And that was it. And, you know, these guys were pretty cool about it. These guys were pretty cool about it. Everyone was pretty chill. We voiced our concerns in an appropriate way. I don't think there's a big problem. So, all in all, it's pretty good.
Hello, Sydney, and hello, Aussie Patriots. Glad to see you all out here sending a clear message to the federal government and Anthony Albanese and his weak government and Minister Tony Burke that Australians are no longer going to take their crap. For far too long, we have all been treated like second-class citizens in our own country.
This is like the one shot I see everyone sharing because it's got like the Aussie, the one young girl we've got actually on camera being a proud Aussie.
For far too long,
He's like, love, please, can you just don't let them film me? And she's like vibing.
And now tens of thousands of people have showed up to say no more.
But yeah, you can see like the you know, like I talked about, like, you know, the boomer demographics. No offense to the boomers, you know, I don't hate you, but you are boomers. The boomers really outnumbered all the young people, and they get to set the tone.
Everybody here, I'm disgusted at what our government is
But love them. We do need the numbers. We do need them being out there.
By nothing more than these traitors, because that's what they are. Traitors, pandering to a minority of people that like to come here and collect our generous welfare system, use our public hospitals, claim our Medicare cards, a great education system. All that is good for these people, but apparently our flag and our values are not. And the government panders to them. They are there.
So, you know, pretty good, pretty good. What we got here? This is Hugo's speech, all dressed to the nines. Oh, here it is. This is the good moment where I think these guys. No, it wasn't here. Where's the Antifa clash? So yeah, here's the Antifa, right? So we had John McGowan in Hobart. Hot girl nationalism is the way to get other birds on board. It's so true. We do need a lot more hot girl nationalist baddies, but they really did not like nationalism. Yeah, this is the clash with the Brisbane event and the Antifa. And again, what flags are they using, guys? What flags are they promoting here? Oh, is this the Australian flag? Oh, that's the Australian flag. They're Aussies, guys. They're Aussies. They got the Australian flag out. What are you talking about? These are Aussies. Yeah, I know they got the Palestine flag, but they got the Aussie flag, so it doesn't matter, man. And what's the point? It doesn't matter. It's a joke. But it's pretty hectic. But so we were here, and then I think we slowly... So they were basically trying to block us in, right? But when I was coming up, I think I was in front of this house here. So they got pushed way back into this corner here with the tree. And then once they were kind of cornered in, you know, the Patriots, mate. The Patriots came together. And the Patriots told them to get the fuck out of here. And we won. We won. It was a beautiful moment. It was one of the best moments I've experienced. Where we actually got the fucking Antifa kicked out. And that's what I mean. We could be the staunch capital of Australia. We pissed them all off. And these motherfuckers.
If you want to go praise God, because you know it's not very Christian-like to you do this. I'm a. Bro, I saw you get off with all the other white people on the bus. So fuck off. Yeah, fuck off. Maybe just leave them alone. Why are you marching today?
So yeah, that's it. Did we get the proper part when they moved on? I hope so. So is this Brisbane actually? It might be a bit of violence. No, this is Brisbane. I think this is the only one of the only two accounts of violence. So you got Antifa here, and isn't it funny how all the migrants were all talking about how like, oh, you better fucking show your face, you fucking dogs, you racist dogs, show your face, huh? You scared? And literally everyone had their faces out, and it's only Antifa who are hiding their face. It's just so funny. So this guy, was it even a punch? Let's look at this.
Nazis, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, so by the time I got here, they were like pushed into this corner. So we sort of like got around them. Let's see. There's some. This guy here, of course, the ones in the masks, the ones who are ready for the shit, right? Fuck you, no, fuck you, no, fuck you. Let's see. And this guy throws like a super weak left hook. And this guy's not even annoyed. And the cops go pretty hard on this guy. The cops go pretty hard on him.
Everyone, get back! Do not engage. Get back!
So wants to put McHenry's speech on? Yeah, I'll do that guy. Sure.
Get back! Get back!
That thing is a bit brutal. I mean, you know, he did assault someone. He's an awesome old bloke. Like, I wouldn't go like that, but fuck around and find out once the end. What's the comments? What have we got? Sandown Bank. Hello, Swindon. Imagine how right-wing Zoomers will be in 40 years. Yeah, the Zoomer... Well, that's the thing. I think the Zoomers... Not only are we internet natives, right? Like, so we're like very good at like sharing info and making content, all these sorts of things. We're super based. And I think that's why they're trying to bring in so many foreigners. Like, so it's like before the Zoomers take power, they've just got a bunch of like complicit foreigners. There was a Nork flag, an East Germany flag. Where in this, the Antifa? I will put McHenry's speech on. How trustworthy do you think John McGowan is? I don't really know him personally, but I like his takes. I don't think he's as right wing as a lot of people hope he is, though. But no, I'm a fan. But yeah, I think the Cos Samaras thing, I didn't watch the full thing, but it was a bit, you know, they were kind of having a bit of a Greek fest there, and I was like, aren't you meant to be like Australian? So, I don't know, whatever, it's not a big deal. But we'll see what happens. But where are we? So yeah, we sort of like, this is it. Oh, this is the beautiful moment where they were basically asked to move on. So everyone was getting up there in their face. Oh yeah, true. They got those two flags, yeah. Beautiful art, pure art. So we basically sieged this part. Some bullshit. It's just so good to see. Just bogan waffen type shit, you know? Just full. It's great stuff. Anyway, so it's pretty great. They got fully moved on, completely moved on. So blokes like this, legend, you're a legend. Look at these motherfuckers. Because most likely this mob, maybe that Muslim guy there too was out there bashing the cars. And they're all wearing masks. These fucking freaks. Let's see if we can get. Is McHenry's speech in this? No. Pretty good. It's pretty good. We got put McHenry. Yes, sir. I will. I pray we have Zoomer numbers. Demographics are not in our favor. No, that's the problem. Is that we're not having kids. So the Zoomers aren't getting a chance to teach their kids proper values because we're battling with the women who hate the men. He's a good rhetoric. He's been with the LNP for 2 decades. Yeah, he's probably embedded a little bit. The eternally hyphenated nationalism problem. Yeah, we're all Australian nationalists. But I think that's about it. Put McKinnery's speech on, then we'll do the tick slop. Where can I find it? What's his name again? Oz versus the agenda, mate. The place to be, the place to go. What's his bloody name? It's Peter, isn't it? Peter McKinnery? Can someone give me a link? What's his fucking name? Oh, it's probably shared by BSC, right? I can't even look anything up because I'm in bloody banned. Surely these guys. Stephen McKinnery, sorry. Did they share his speech? Yeah, they did. Nice.
Today.
Okay, I'll have a listen to this, then we'll go to Tick Slop. This was the best, one of the best speeches I heard.
We march for Australia and for Australians. Today, we march for our people who have a shared ancestry, a shared heritage, a shared culture, and a shared destiny on this continent. A continent that our ancestors claimed.
See, here we go. Okay. So what are we talking about optics? His great speech, but look at these fucking optics. It's like, okay, he's talking about our ancestors claiming the land, and there's an Aboriginal flag. Just saying.
Build a nation upon.
Just saying.
And shed their blood in defence of, for us.
Amen, brother, amen.
Our forefathers at Federation were crystal clear about why they were federating this nation and for whom they were federating it. It was for those of us who are here today and those we represent, Anglo-European Australians. They were clear.
Swindon just said, yeah, what this guy said, Australian isn't Australian. And he does say Anglo-European Australians. You know, so again, with the hyphenated Australian thing, you mean just Australians? So there are some little things.
That it was their will and ardent desire that this nation would always remain ours. And they established immigration policies to that end. They federated this country with the express purpose of protecting it, of protecting us from the very fate that now threatens to overwhelm it and to overwhelm us and our way of life. Mass immigration of non-Europeans at an unprecedented scale, at an unprecedented rate. Our wartime prime ministers, Billy Hughes and John
See
Kerr,
some lady. Like, lady, shut up. He's fucking speaking.
were clear what our soldiers were fighting for in the world wars. Our men were not fighting for some abstract set of values. They were not fighting for some chimera called multicultural Australia, or what Tony Burke self-servingly calls modern Australia.
So again, modern Australia, new Australia, these are all the same things, okay?
No, they were fighting for a people bound together by the crimson thread of blood. A distinct people, a unique people, an irreplaceable people, derived from the British Isles and Europe and forged on this continent through ethnogenesis into a new ethnic group, Australians. For English, Scotch and Irish bread, we're all Australians now, Banjo Patterson wrote. They were fighting in defence of our people's claim to this continent and the nation our people built here. Today, we stand in the tradition of all our Prime Ministers from Barton to Menzies, and we carry on the legacy of the great leaders of this state, Henry Parkes and Jack Lang, who were equally clear that New South Wales was not for sale to the highest bidder, but was set aside for sons and daughters of Britannia, the nation-forming people of this land and other Europeans who assimilated into our number. Today we march for Australia, for our way of life.
Wait,
and our
other Europeans who assimilated. Okay, so boom, right there is when you get a bit hicked up, right? Other Europeans who assimilate into our culture. You're talking about the Greeks and the Italians then, right? Because again, no one wants to talk about the world question. No one wants to talk about the fact that they were the Trojan horse Yeah, so that's a bit of a confusing thing.
The whole world.
Bro is cooking. What's his name? Yeah, this guy cooked. This guy totally cooked.
To our number. Today we march for Australia, for our way of life, and our claim on this continent. We do so with no ill will towards citizens of this nation who don't share our ancestry. But, with a clear understanding that we are not going to relinquish our majority status, and that the nation the whole world seems to want to join will not remain the great nation it is, if in fact we allow the whole world to join it. That would doom our people to minority status, which, if we do nothing, at the current rate and scale and composition of immigration, will occur within the lifetime of most of us here today.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us here have friends, neighbours, colleagues, or families whose ancestry is not Anglo-Celtic or European, or is only partially so. We have given them a fair go, extended the hand of friendship to them, and had the hand of friendship extended in return. And to the extent that these, our friends, colleagues, and neighbours, respect and support our claim on this nation as the people whose ancestors built it, and our determination to continue to set the direction of our nation and to remain not only a majority, but to swell again to supermajority status, then I wish them well.
Based. Extremely based.
But everyone must understand, and our politicians in particular must understand, that our ability to live harmoniously with small numbers of people who don't share our ancestry and culture does not mean we will ever accept the unacceptable and radical transformation of our suburbs and cities, our towns and our regions, let alone the nation itself, into something other than places that we recognise as ours, stamped by our character, populated by our people. We will no longer allow politicians to pursue reckless levels of immigration that make us strangers in our own country. Today,
I love how, like, such a classic cameraman move. Like, oh, give me a sec, my fucking camera. Hello, camera. But I love how, actually, I'll wait, because I need to, this might be the clip that gets me back on Twitter. Like the live, guys. Come on, there's 15 people watching. We should have 15 likes minimum. Okay, help your boy out. Help me out. I've been banned off Twitter. It's been a bad weekend. I need a bit of love. But yeah, the cameraman move, it's so funny. It's like, bro, what's the point of grabbing this?
Today.
Of where is it? What's the point of grabbing that? You didn't even get anything. Stay on him. Like, fuck.
Today, we draw upon the gifts our ancestors from the British Isles bequeathed us. The conquering strength of the English, the keenness of mind and brilliance of the Scots, the mirth and rebelliousness of the Irish, and the poetic spirit and passion of the...
Did my guy just mention mirth? Based? We need some mirth up in this bitch. That's actually such a based, like, such a good quote, such a good speech.
British Isles bequeathed us.
Like,
the conquering strength of the English.
Based?
The keenness of mind and brilliance of the Scots.
Based?
The mirth and rebelliousness of the Irish.
Based! So with the English coming here, bitch, we're taking over the Scots, mate. We're figuring it out. And the Irish, mate, they got that mirth. They got those songs. They got the stories. This guy gets it. This guy totally gets it.
The poetic spirit and passion of the Welsh. And we draw on our larger European identity.
Oh, okay,
the whole history of the West.
Yeah.
From Greco-Roman antiquity to the pagan Germanic tribes converted by the blood of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And the Angles, the Saxons, and the Celts. We carry that legacy forward here today.
Okay.
We are the Australians. The test of democracy,
no wogs mentioned. Pretty good.
Is not whether the people vote, but whether the people rule. From this day forward, the will of the Australian people, which is opposed to mass immigration, must rule.
Terrific speech, like, literally terrific speech. I think it's one of the best speeches I've heard be given on this topic in Australia in general, even compared to the NSN. Like, that's one of the best, speeches ever. I completely agree with him. That's like basically my entire worldview. The mirthy Irish. It's based though. We are mirthy. I would go a bit Irish, mainly Scottish. But that's, yeah, a terrific speech. Thank you for that, Stephen. You're a G. I think Stephen, two Stevens, yeah. Both Stevens, they're going to be obviously at the British Australia Communities backpack. I think that's coming up again. So it's a pretty amazing speech. Like, what a legend. And that's, we need more of these guys like this. And Stephen Chavura, I'd say, is like that, but he's just like, you can tell he's just swaying with the wind a bit. When he commits to it, like he was sharing Achilles memes, talking about being a Nazi if you go to the protest, but it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, fuck it. And then doesn't go to the protest, doesn't film anything, sort of just moves on. Like, look at this. He's sort of like just like chucking in, what's this, ISIS stuff? I don't know, whatever. Just kookaburras, just like doing like a bit of normie posting, I guess, because he's like maybe gotten himself in trouble. But like shit like this, when he commits to the bit, he fucking cooks. And I do like him. I've liked him since COVID. But the Zionist shit and then the cucking shit, it's just not on. And we need to be dying that down a bit. Thanks for the likes. I appreciate it. We got to 15. You guys are G's. So, I got some good players. I was confused, and I'm sorry to question the king, but I was confused why Jordan wasn't there. I didn't see anything from Jordan in Brisbane. Didn't see him show up or explain why he wasn't there. He's sort of like, really very quiet rhetoric, like I'm not sure what's going on with him. Because Jordan should be the guy leading the Queensland movement. I've said this before. He is made for it. Okay, God has put him in this country at this time in history to lead Queenslandia into the new dawn, into the new age of patriotism. Okay, I don't think I'm made for it. I don't think I'm built for that. I think this guy is. If he just fucking stops cucking a little bit, please, Jordan. Okay, I love you, mate, but just don't cuck so much. We need some fucking Queenslandia vigor. Okay. So it did disappoint me to not see you at the march, because you're a G. But whatever. He's playing his cards. He's playing his hand. Good luck to him. I hope to see more of him. But yeah, that was about it. I think that's about it with the commentators. Okay, let's get into the tick slot. Let's see what the chat says actually. Murphy Irish, love the Welsh, smashed it. So when South Pacific Superpower. Don't trust Shavura. Mental bookmark, he's out. Haha. Didn't he join some think tank? Yeah, he did join a think tank. I'm not sure what the goal of that place is, but I think he is getting his roots into the conservative sort of area, which is a bit of a shame. But here's the thing though, it's like there's no money in the right wing, really. Like if you want a normal life, if you're a normal kind of guy like Jordan is, it's hard to convince yourself to fully commit. I think I'm not a normal guy. I'm a bit of a weird cunt. I'm a bit of an autist. I'm a bit of a creative. I'm a bit of a radical. So Jordan Knight was there? Was he? I didn't see him. Okay, I take it back then. If you were there, then more power to you. Maybe he's blending in. He's in incognito, huh? Well, that's good. I'm glad. I would have been shocked if he wasn't there. Based. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the tick slot. Legend. You know where the money is from. Dust. No, I'm not saying it. I'm on YouTube. I can't say anything on YouTube. Okay, but let's look at some of these things. You got this lady on the radio talking about how, like, okay, guys, one protest is fine. Okay, we can't do another protest, okay? It's too much. Fully just mum vibing it, mum cucking it. Again, the women here stay out of politics, man. We need just some vigor. We need some mirth. We need some masculinity. Fighting for our country, not this fucking, oh, guys, we'll get there eventually. Just relax. It's just so weak. No, he wasn't. No, Jordan Knight was not screaming white man fight back. Okay, I need proof. I need source. All right. If I see him next time, I'll question him. Jordan, what do you think of these accusations of you saying white man fight back? Seems a bit off character, don't you think? We've got this footage of you here, Jordan, saying, send them back at the Brisbane protest. What's the go with that? It's fucking funny. But yeah, look at it. Let's look at this lady.
Everyone with the same brush now is grossly ignorant, and I think it is largely very damaging for the overall message that our political leaders need to heed. There's always good people who will turn up to demonstrate their views about particular issues, but what we have here is neo-Nazis being given a platform. That's what we saw on the weekend, and the tone, of course, of much of the rallies was unfortunate is the best way that you could put it, but hateful in some of the extreme examples. I supported a march for this country. I supported a march for the end to mass migration, because we have not just a cost of living crisis, but we also have an issue where, regardless of the race or ethnicity, the sheer volume of migration that we are seeing in this country is...
Regardless, I think that's kind of important too, don't you think? I don't think, 2 million Somalians is probably a good idea, but anyway, sure.
Which is to the tune of hundreds of thousands, is putting immense pressure on housing, on our healthcare system, on our education system, and a range of other fundamental infrastructure. You are not a racist or a bigot for marching for your country, but you are a revolting human being and an extremist if you are going to these rallies, as we saw with the gentleman, and I won't call him a gentleman, he's a scumbag, who in South Australia decided to hold up a picture
This
of...
guy. Fuck me, man. This guy. Fed? Surely this guy's a Fed, right? I mean, what the fuck? That is pretty wild. But again, they're pointing out like the one guy that went full fucking tilt. Be like, that guy though. Don't be that guy. Like, look out. It's like, good, dude. They're like tens of thousands of people there, and you point out one guy who went full
that
crazy.
revolting human being who's been accused of killing cops, Desi Freeman, as well as the loser Thomas Sewell, who was arrested, who is part of this neo-Nazi group, who infiltrated...
That's it. Is that it? I don't actually watch. That's the first time I watched. That's it. It's just like, look, guys, it's good to protest for your housing. Yeah, don't think about race, but just remember that these fucking scumbags with that protest, so you were kind of there too. It's like, oh, shut up, lady. Just nonsense. Yeah, he's been arrested. Yeah, Thomas Sewell, I think he's still in custody. Last I heard, he got arrested out front of the courthouse, I think. What's he been charged for? Swindon, mate, if you're still here, mate, can you tell me what old Tom's been charged for? Oh, the sign guy. Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be honest. That's a dumb thing to do. That's fucking full edgelord. What else we got here? Jacinta Price wearing the Australian flag in Parliament. The lefties kicked her out. It's pretty something. But oh, this is the Brisbane, I think. This is Brisbane. Yeah, this is where we were blocked in by Antifa. So, it's not very good, but you know, is what it is. Oh yeah, here's actually Thomas getting arrested.
I'm under arrest, but this is what happens in the tyranny of Victoria. I'm under arrest. Hey Jacob, call the lawyer.
Watch your backs, folks. Traffic behind you.
So what's he getting arrested for?
This is what happens in the tyranny of Victoria. You're under arrest for defending yourself. Sure.
Trams.
I have no idea what he's under arrest for. But look, just look at the numbers, dude. Like that lady's talking about they're giving these guys a platform. It's like, no, guys, people are really interested in these guys, and those numbers are growing. And ever since I started doing this, it's mainly been because they're interesting, and they're the only thing interesting really happening that's kind of worth looking into. Because the politicians are just spouting the same shit every single day. So of course people are going to be interested in if this extreme contrast comes out of nowhere. And everyone's like, don't be interested in it. So, well, you guys are boring. Give us something else to be interested in. Because if you don't, you know, nature abhors a vacuum. People are going to go to the NSN. That's just how it's going to be. And the same with what Nick Fuentes was saying, you know, we need a proper nationalist movement. I agree. You know, you could have a bit of contrast. Two groups showing up, competing for the stage. Probably better optics. I don't know. Jordan, lead the fucking... Do it, mate. Do it, okay? But, you know, you've got migrants mocking, I think, Australians now from going to the march.
Send them back to their land.
Send them back
too much competition for the banh mi and the pho restaurant and the nail salon.
My mother-in-law wants to come to Australia. Send them back.
Send their ass back.
We want to send them
So you
back.
got migrants just mocking Australians for wanting to send some people back because we never agreed to this many people coming to the country, and you've got all of them. They're all jumping on the bandwagon. You know, these massive accounts saying anti-immigrant protests, send them back. Like, you know, it's just insane. Always the colonizers talking about sending people back, go back to Europe. So again, this narrative of we're not meant to be here. We stole the land, okay? It's like, no, we conquered the land, mate. This is our land now. But they don't want to listen to that. They just keep going on about, oh no, when are they going back to Europe? When are they going back to the UK? The irony of that white man saying that comment when he's also an immigrant. We're not immigrants. We're settlers. Our ancestors took the fucking land. And this is the problem when, you know, the conservatives cuck on this topic is they don't realize, I'm not sure if they're seeing these comment sections of people saying that we don't even belong here. This isn't even our land. They think that, oh no, if you just have this moderate position and you talk about just economics, that these people will shut up. No, these people don't think we have the right to say anything about our own country. And that's what they need to be paying attention to. And that's why we need to stop cucking on the optics. We stop cucking on our speech in regards to these things, because we've got people out here with massive followings who don't even think we belong here. They think they think this is now land for the Aboriginals and migrants only. And it's disgusting. But what else? We had that fucking Abby Chatfield with the fucking...
Chatfield brought out her gimp boyfriend on a leash.
All of you pieces of shit that won't listen to a woman because you call me hysterical, here is actually an adult man who will speak to you.
I mean, basically looks like a woman. He talks like a woman. So.
You are an immigrant yourself, first and foremost. This is not our land.
See?
Wow, Abby.
See?
Abby, suddenly I agree with you. I'm a foreigner in my own country and I have no right to be Australian. Australia doesn't exist. We have no culture because you brought out your gimp boyfriend on a fucking leash. His balls in your literal handbag. You think we're going to be impressed by some gimp on a fucking leash? Nobody gives a shit. No one cares. It's our country. We're not giving it up.
Drew. Come on, I like Drew, man. Drew's a funny... What a head. Yeah. But we love him. Come on. I love Drew. He's a good dude. But yeah, this is what they fucking tell us. You know, they tell us it's not our land. We have no right to be here. You're all an immigrant. So they want to make us into, you know, a political minority, a persecuted group because of our history or some bullshit. It's a joke. What's the charge? What is the charge? Enjoying a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Actually, on that note, I'll be back. Shit. Hold on, I'm back. I didn't even go anywhere, really. I just wanted to use that meme. Thanks for that. Thanks for the lineup. But where are we? Oh, this guy.
Okay, I just want to go back in this.
More of these fucking... How many guys? You know, more of these, like, pretty boys. All the pretty people don't want to associate with this because they're like, it'd be really bad for my reputation. It's like, dude... We're going to become minorities, man. We kind of need to fucking stop with this gay shit, right?
Australia. And I've been seeing videos of this protest, this march, and I don't know why everyone's pissed about. Like, I think it's important to talk about things that are important to you. I also think that, you know, dental should be included in Medicare. These people are brave enough that they're showing you the impact of poor dental care. There's probably 3 teeth across that whole march, and it's so important that they're being brave enough to show you. So,
see that? Everyone is just completely... just spitting on us for standing up for our country. It's a joke. Let's see what Isaac Butterfield I can't remember what he said.
So all of these politicians come out and say that these rallies are a bad idea because of the association with these Nazis. Now, the fact of the matter is these people did turn up. There is no hiding from that. They came in their numbers. And in fact, Avi Yemeni, who is a reporter for Rebel News, he was in Melbourne when these Nazi people came off the train at Flinders Street Station. So this is in the middle of the crowd here. And these guys here, this guy in the glasses comes over and says, you know, to Avi, you're a Jew, no one wants you here. This whole, like, I know I got in trouble for like a Jewish joke back in the day, but this is real hatred, and I do not get it. So they start yelling at Avi, then this guy comes over.
Oi, Budsman, mate, come on stream, mate. We'll do a JQ stream, and you can hear their points.
With the Pantene fresh hair. He starts having a crack at Avi as well. They're pushing and shoving. They've all had pre-workout on the train on the way here. They're all jittering. They've got beta-alanine flowing through their
anyway, I think system. He goes on about, like, if you want to stand the same shit, you want to stand up for your country, that's right, but don't make it about hate. Don't make it about racism. All this shit. We had this guy talk about all this.
Listen, I don't know what's going on, but I am disgusted by the amount of hate that I'm seeing in the comments. Now, a couple of days before the election, I interviewed this migrant guy who was making some valid...
He's, you know, you got an Indian tweaking out that Indians are not welcomed in Australia. Pretty crazy. Let's read the comments. What's the charge of Democracy Manifest? And attacking a march attendees turning their part. Yeah. Missile means basically throwing anything that's not a literal missile. Click, click, pop, click. What's that mean? Can you hear my clicks? Is that the problem? What's this? Australia is a manifestation of the collective efforts and principles of our forefathers. True. Lol, the idea I'd sell my inheritance for a banh mi. Yeah, literally. It's like, they always just use the food argument. Always they use the food argument. It's like, oh, but they love our food, don't they? It's like, well, as Rowan Cowley said, you know, we have their recipe. Can we send them back now, please? Isaac cucked hard. Big yikes. They just do and heckin' anti-Semitism. Watching Tom and the boys charge towards Avi in the G live was, I can't say that actually. Yeah, it's pretty funny. There's some really good moments. But yeah, here's another example.
Aussie. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, boys. Hey, listen, let's bring it all in. Let's wrap it all up. I know we're all tired today. It's been a long day. Despite the long day, it's been a very successful day. Everyone knows what we stand for, boys. But hey, let's go get some dinner, eh? Thinking of it, I'm actually feeling like some Chinese. Hey, who wants some Chinese?
So yeah, they just do the memes. People here saying Australia would be so boring without us, just some Asian. No, we were pretty interesting actually. We actually had a lot of good things going for us before the immigrants arrived. So thanks for that. But these comment sections, man, like I said, these conservatives need to go to these comment sections and just realize what these people think of us. It's a joke. I think this one's pretty intense actually. This guy's basically threatening to get a bunch of islanders together to beat the shit out of the NSN, like as far as I could tell. Have a look at this.
Of this Aussie that led that racist group, the neo-Nazis, and attacked the indigenous sovereign camp.
Jesus. So here we go, here we fucking go, here we fucking go. Just look at him, how proud he is, look at him, look at him.
So a lot of people that seen that footage were upset, but one group in particular is my fellow Islander brothers and sisters. A lot of us share the same.
So here, let's read what they're saying though. It's time for the Aboriginal, Fijian, Maori, Tongan, Papua New Guinean, Samoan warrior brothers to stand with their Aboriginal brothers. It's time to show what our warrior forefathers are made of. Enough of their bullshit. Okay, 5,000 likes, 5,500 likes. Count me in, us. Chew my Mary, we on. They're talking about gang bashing, guys. They're talking about a literal race war. Okay, because of this, because the NSN charged Camp Sovereignty because people from Camp Sovereignty were gang bashing Australians marching for their country. So again, they're always the victim and they're always the first to go for the violence.
We're sick and tired of seeing this neo-Nazi racist group cruise around like they're untouchable. And in support of our Aboriginal brothers and sisters, this fella here needs to answer for what he did to that flag and those people. I don't think I need to show all the messages of support. All you need to do is look through the reel and see all the comments in there supporting this Islander movement to go down there and sort these fellas out.
This Islander movement to go down there and sort these fellas out. We're gonna go fucking gang bash them, cunt, you know?
So maybe
and they're not fucking around. They're not fucking around. If you've seen that video of the guy in the shopping center getting stabbed in those Islander clashes, you know, they are violent. They're not fucking joke. But
the police and the government, you guys need to do something about this. Because I tell you now, if we go down, it won't be peaceful.
Just fucking insanity, you know? Insanity. Fully just calling for a race war. Saying, "Yo, oi, police, mate, either fucking arrest these blokes, or we're gonna go gang bash them." It's insane. You know, got people backing them up. Sounds good, brother. But can we go after the Palestinian that burnt the Aussie flag too? Yeah, see, people are like, let's go after him. No like from the commentator, from the author. Just fucking insanity. Insanity. Yeah, this lady. That's about it, really. That's about it. I think we're getting to like the bottom of. We've got the Wogs, of course, having a go at the march. All the Wogs hate it. The Indians.
Another Indian Australian attacked.
Well, that's actually
beaten
fucked
unconscious
up.
in Adelaide.
I didn't actually hear about that until
This
I saw
is Charanpreet Singh.
Yeah, don't beat Indians up, guys. But you fucking just need to deport them, but don't. I don't advocate for violence. Shit, there's some fireworks going off. Shit, man. But some more footage. That's about it, you know. You kind of just going around. You kind of seen everything there's to see by now, I'd assume. Abby Chatfield obviously losing her mind. Again, just going to the same shit though, you know. It's stolen land, same bullshit, same bullshit. These ladies are funny. That's about it. Let's look at the ABC, and then we'll pack it up. Oh, I think I've actually got some good ones here. Hold on. We ain't done yet. Here's another one from the same people.
Demanding an end to mass immigration.
Send them back, okay? Because the thing is, send back my cousin Doc. He stole my car.
Send back my family. They're stressing me out. Close the borders now.
Demanding an end to mass.
I mean, that's pretty funny. That's fair. That's kind of funny. At least, okay, they made up for it. But yeah, you got these guys here. Like, this is like,
check this out.
What did I call it? I fucking had a name for these guys. I want to make a video though talking about like the brown internet theory, which isn't like, it's like the dead internet theory, but it's more about like how if things go the way they are, the internet and Australia in general is just gonna be overtaken by like foreign ethnic commentators, and we're not really gonna notice the lack of white commentators. And I think it's already happening. Like that picture that Ozpool shared with these guys, like these are the new Australian commentators. And they obviously don't want to talk about the demographic replacement because they are the demographic replacement in a sense, and they are the ones competing for the stage with commentators like myself or other, you know, white Australians who want to speak up about this issue. And there's a bit of a fucking issue there. But this is the new Australia talking points.
Why don't Australians have the right to protest? Why don't Australians have the right to protest? Why do you want to ban us from protesting? Shouldn't we have the right to speak in our own country, you coward?
This morning, Thomas Sewell just happened to bump into the Premier while Sky News was live in a Melbourne park. In a city of over 5 million people, he's right there, on cue, name-checked by the journalists, stepping in front of cameras and delivering the perfect soundbite to the media.
I think Sky News was live.
Holy shit, he's right. Yeah, he's just gone full schizo mode, like it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Yeah, that's where I saw him first too. The Drew Pavlo John McGowan, the Wog Fest. Well, you know, John McGowan's, I think he's more Scottish than he is fucking Greek. Let's be real. The Scots claim him. The Scots claim John McGowan, but you had a heaps of Indians. I think this one's pretty interesting.
Alright guys, mass immigration protest was great. Now it's time to do the debriefing so we can be ready for the next one. First of all, tell me, do we took our country back? So we still haven't got our country back yet. Damn, that's not right. That's all right.
So he's mocking Australians for saying, you know, oh, you didn't do shit, did you?
We'll take it back. Don't worry, we'll do it next time. It's okay. I'll put that in a pending. Second, we want the government to listen. So do we have any government officials saying they're going to listen to us? No? Okay. So there is no immigration policy change happening? Okay. So that goes on a pending too. Pending.
It's like, okay, do you not understand what like activism is meant to be for? Do you understand what like morale is? Understand what like community is? Community building is? Yeah, it's like these people just like, what protests throughout history ever resulted in immediate change the day after, you know? Hopefully this protest, this 31st of August, leads to more protests, which leads to proper parallel communities and parallel societies forming, which then can, you know, put some pressure on the actual, the pivot points, the actual, you know, the central industries, the central parts of our country and society that actually make a change. These guys, you know, they kind of just like, they brush it off. They don't want to think about that. They you know, just spit at us.
So we hate immigrants. That's true. Which means during the protest, we never used any services which immigrants were providing. Am I right? So we traveled on a train which was driven by an Asian.
Because they came here and took the job that an Australian could have done and drive down the wage at the same time. Okay.
From a service station which was run by Indian.
Yeah, so the Indians have basically taken over all of our petrol stations. They basically have a monopoly on our petrol stations now. That's completely fine though, isn't it? You know, we never voted for that to happen, but sure. Yeah, it's an Indian petrol station.
Home, back on taxi, which was driven by Middle Eastern.
It's true, yeah. All the taxis are driven by Middle Easterners now, aren't they? Isn't that bizarre? I remember when I was a kid, all the taxi drivers were white Australians. It's kind of strange.
Then we ordered the Japanese food. Guys, what we're doing? We hate immigrants. We can't do this. We want these jobs
Just
back.
pure disconnect. Pure, you know. Why are we protesting again, guys? Oh, wasn't it because of the jobs? All of our jobs being taken. All of our houses are being filled up by foreigners. And then, I think part of it is also... See, this is what I mean. My fucking camera goes... Every 20 minutes. Support your boy. Support your boy. When the camera comes back, the rant will continue. Come back, damn it. But it's so slow. There we go. We're back. But yeah, I think part of it is also the fact that foreigners are taking all of our houses too. But no, these guys don't consider any of that. They think it's just about hate. We just hate them purely for their existence. But that hate or that disdain has nothing to do with the economic effect that migrants are having on our country, which is just all he's pointing out. He's pointing out the economic effects that migrants are having on us, on the jobs they're taking, on the. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need these jobs, or you don't want your kids to be doing these jobs. So you don't want your kids to be driving taxis, trams, trains, deliveries. So who's gonna do these jobs?
It's not that we don't want our kids to do these jobs, Parmeet. It's that the wages have not been rising at all. The wages have been stagnated because of migration. The cheap labor from overseas, the cheap labor that's going into these industries is the reason our wages have stagnated, because you don't get a higher wage unless you politically organize and leverage yourself, leverage your labor within unions and that kind of stuff to raise your wage to hopefully keep up with inflation, which, you know, the Australian public has no say over either. But they don't understand it. They don't fucking think about these things. They don't understand the full picture. Jeez.
Immigrants? Well, we don't want them. We're not telling this. This is not going public. We can't tell this. We need to sort this out inside. Okay. This one do not go public. We got the support of the majority of Australians. Is that right? No? So nobody supported us. and
Pure
only few of
mockery,
us
man.
who went to city to waste Sunday, sunny Sunday. It's not right. We're not gonna tell anything. We're not gonna tell anyone about this as well. So the last thing, did the rent reduced? Or did the
Did the
living
rent
expenses
reduce? The guy can barely fucking speak English and he's mocking us. Like,
affected? So you pay extra surcharge on taxi to came home. So it was more expensive because of our protest. Ooh, that's not good. All right, guys, we got a couple of pendings and couple of things which you're gonna hide. I'm not gonna tell anyone because it's gonna be very embarrassing. We need to make sure next time we don't repeat this, and we have agenda. We don't want people to be saying different things to different channels, whatever they want. But what was the agenda? Sorry, I forgot myself. Anyways, guys, we'll catch up again.
pure hubris, pure just arrogance, just completely mocking Australians for noticing what people
Alright,
like
guys,
him are
last
doing
thing.
to our country. Like, it's just fucking, it sickens you. It fucking sickens you. What else we got? I actually need to fucking, let's have a
Alright,
proper
guys,
look at this
last
guy,
thing,
because
this
this
is
guy's
what that-
shocking. What's this guy do? He found a CEO, immigration construction. Let's see what his group does, eh? Come on. Open the fucking link. Build Your Vision. Giselle Group is an Australian-owned organization comprising 4 dynamic companies. Australian-owned, I'm not sure. So they're an immigration... This guy comes from an immigration consulting and recruitment business. So no wonder he's so pro-immigration. He literally has a stake in the game. He's literally profiteering off of migrants coming here. Insane. And the Giselle Construction Group. What do they build? Probably student accommodations, right? You'd imagine. Beautifully designed for everyday living. NDIS builder? What the fuck? NDIS approved construction services for disability accommodation, registered buildings. What the fuck? Crazy. So yeah, just got these people who are literally creating immigration training consultation businesses, advocating for more migrants and mocking Australians for standing up against mass immigration. Insane. And you remember how ethnocentric these Indians are. Like, these guys
Alright,
fucking
guys,
back each other up more than we do. You nailed it, bro. Just Indians, perfect. Ha ha ha. They always just do smiley faces because they can't actually make arguments. They literally just laugh at us. But anyway, guys, maybe he's an NDO scam. I'm not sure how all that kind of stuff works, but it's pretty insane. Okay, I might pack it up. We're going for 2 hours. Pretty good stream. Any final comments, any questions, anything you'd like me to highlight before we pack it up? Oh, this guy, actually, this is the one thing I wanted to go. This is the guy
disgusting.
they're really harping on, right? Because this guy apparently brought an Aboriginal flag and he brought his kids and they're all like freaking out about there being the NSN there. It's like,
Leave my little kids here. I wore that Aboriginal flag to show solidarity. March as one, together. And look what these fucking idiots have done.
I am Australian. You don't need to attack Australia, not communism. Get out.
base, it's a communist flag. The Aboriginal flag is a communist flag.
Go fuck yourself.
Make
So-
2 little girls cry over a bunch of Nazi shit. Fuck off!
Brother, 99% of us here are witches.
See, not all brainwashed boomers, man, who don't even think about any of our history. They don't know anything about us. They just think
Protect your kids,
it's all about unity. It's all about fucking just come together. Fucking.
no matter what. And we'll protect
We
you.
are the world,
right?
cunt.
That's the Aussie way. That's the Aussie way.
The Aussie way, mate. Just accepting everyone, mate. Aussie fucking way. True blue. Accept all the immigrants, bruh. Fucking.
Can I ask you, you served in the military, are you concerned that there's neo-Nazis that are on the stage right now?
It doesn't matter who's up there, as long as we're united
Based.
against the same enemy. That's all that matters.
You actually got a military guy who understands what the problem is. Sad music that the sad music, you know. It's of course. Why has he got stars and stripes? It's Australia.
What do you think about this Nazi group that's just rocked up?
These ladies don't give a shit.
I think if they're sticking
See,
up...
they're painting this. They're putting the hero at the start, and then the sad music, and the immigrant getting persecuted, and these Australians with their Australian flags. No, they're the ones that hate
their country, that's all I care about.
And let's read some of the comments, shall we? Right there. Oh, jeez. Where is it?
It was disgusting.
You know, you see Australian belongs to the Aborigines. Everyone else is a guest. Again, back to that one crux. You always got these Aborigines, the awkward moment when white people tell others to go back to where they came from. Yeah, we conquered the land, okay? We just need to be outspoken about that. It's insane. If he's so loud, like, it's not about mass migration. It's so clear it's about racism. If I migrated here, I would be safe on the streets during this march simply because I'm white. No one was getting harassed simply for being a migrant on the streets. Chloe Suren. Let's have a look at her. Yeah, you're talking shit, love. Okay, you're talking shit. You're full of shit. No one was getting harassed. There are migrants. I see so many videos of like migrants walking in the march like they're amazed. Oh, I'm surrounded by a bunch of racists and I'm just hanging out. It's like, dude, no one went there with plans to beat up fucking foreigners just for showing up. That's ridiculous to think that. This guy, this is a perfect example of that. He's just chilling. Just an Indian chilling. And look, you see his face, he's like shocked. I'm surrounded by all the Australians, but they're not beating my ass. What is going on? We don't fucking care that much about you being here, mate. Like, we're here for a purpose, to send a message. So funny. Just like, oh, I'm gonna beat the shit out of me yet. Oh, I'm gonna beat the shit out of me yet. It's so good. And all the comments, you know, bro, they're protesting against you. Bro's using a VPN. Protesting against himself. Like, fuck me, it's funny. But like Stephen McKinney was saying, you know, it's like, as long as we remain the super majority, I got nothing against working with an Indian, or working with an Asian. Honestly, I don't. I've worked with people from heaps of different countries. I've got nothing wrong with it, but we need to maintain our majority status. Otherwise, this country will fall apart. And it is falling apart more and more as the demographics get worse and worse. And it's as simple as that. But I think that'll be me. Let me read the comments and I'll pack it up. Singers, yeah. You should stream more. Thanks for that. I think I plan to do some big streams and save the daily X posting. He probably beats him. Look at his face. This guy and the lady were based. Sir, pleased to be joining the marchings of Australia, sir. True. Okay, well, thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the likes. Appreciate you bumping the numbers up. Make sure you subscribe to the account. Try to get to, I think it's like 1,000 you need. Share the stream. Feel free to clip the stream. Use the content if you want. I don't mind. Do whatever you want. Yeah, hopefully we see more marches coming up and more movements to get involved with. And yeah, see you next time. Cheers.